The bottom line is, we must become Christ-like. First, allow me to help define the term Christ-like for you by describing what Christ truly means. As a Son of God, Christ is not only a persona we strive to develop into, but it's also a condition. An energetic force which dictates the frequency at which we resonate while embodied in human form. The word Christ itself, coming from the Greek word Christos, meaning anointed one, which derives from the Greek verb kreo, meaning to anoint. The word Christ, and similar spellings of it, appears in English along with most European languages. English speakers often found using Christ as if it were a name, one part of the name Jesus Christ. Although in Hebrew, it was originally a title for the Messiah. In the Bible, Paul declares, "For whom he did foreknow, he also did predestinate to be conformed to the image of his Son, that he might be the firstborn among many brethren." God has predetermined those in Christ worthy of literally becoming a likeness of Christ, declaring that they too shall be the firstborn amongst many others in Christ. In essence, they shall lead the way for those others to follow. The Bible further tells us, "But we all, with open face beholding as in a glass the glory of the Lord, are changed into the same image from glory to glory, even as by the Spirit." This verse ensures us that it is by the Spirit which those in Christ are changed into His image, with glory to glory, used to signify this change as a transitioning journey from a lower glorious place to a higher glorious place. This journey is a spiritual transformation of our being from a lower frequency to that of a higher frequency, the narrow path leading directly to God. Biblically, we are told, "Beloved, now are we the sons of God, and it doth not yet appear what we shall be. But we know that, when he shall appear, we shall be like him, for we shall see him as he is." This passage assures those on the righteous path that even though they may not know the true appearance of Christ prior to his second coming, they will know him when he appears, as they will become just like him. This recognition of Christ and what he truly stands for, being the key to completing the final stage of the transformation. There is really no need to know anything more than that, but the Bible does further explain, "But whoso keepeth his word, in him verily is the love of God perfected. Hereby know we that we are in him. He that saith, he abideth in him, ought himself also so to walk, even as he walked." That being said, to become Christ-like, we cannot just talk the talk without walking the walk. We must literally put ourselves in his shoes. We must not assume everything is okay simply for what we may or may not believe. We must prepare for our journey and plan it accordingly. Now is not the time to be lazy, and we cannot just go out and hire someone else to make this trip for us. The only begotten Son of God, the man we call Jesus Christ, came here to show us the way some 2,000 years ago. You can call this encounter supernatural, a miracle, or whatever you wish, but all things considered, it's undeniably a true story. So many years later now, and he's still being discussed amongst humanity. This fact alone should tell us something. Holidays like Christmas and Easter still exist today, and we celebrate them each year, no matter what we truly believe. Can you not see the light? I humbly ask. The light of our lives, the light which never lets us down, the light which literally lights up our day, the light which gives all life. Can you not see him? the one and only Son. Try to consider our lower frequency lives like that of eggs prior to hatching. Cared for in the nest by their parent who waits for their frequency to rise, with the higher energy giving them an ability to hatch. Much like many natural environments, there can be certain irregularities, and therefore not all eggs will hatch at the same time. God, like any good parent, watches patiently over the nest, knowing that some of the eggs will take longer to hatch, and that others may not hatch at all. This is just the way nature works, but it certainly doesn't mean that the ones who hatch early are any better than the ones who hatch late. One thing is for certain, the ones who do hatch early cannot simply break another's egg open for them, and just like God, they too must patiently wait for that personal transformation to occur. However, that does not restrict those eggs who hatch early from exploring their surroundings, in effect, watching out for the others. For those who hatch first, this becomes their mission. Their reconnaissance work, if you will. As servants of God, they carry out this mission in an effort to prepare others for what's to come. When the rest of the eggs finally hatch, it's this preparatory groundwork that lays out the truth for them, vital intel prior to heading out on missions of their own. It's through this revealing of truth that these servants of God, the chosen ones, help prepare the way for others. In an uplifting manner, they egg them on, so to speak. The chosen ones, having previously committed themselves to the cause, are in return for that commitment gifted with premonitions, signs, and visions from God. In a manner of speaking, they're given a heads up. Receiving divine guidance and pertinent information, not only for themselves, but to be shared with others. Time after time, these servants of God find themselves struggling to keep their determination intact, enduring relentless spiritual attacks, all the while living a life that's filled with self-sacrifice and immense suffering. Undertaking this mission, not only for a personal lesson in spiritual growth or their chance to earn a spot, but also for the testimony, so others can bear witness to the value of their works. All in all, it's a benevolent effort supplying those who pay close attention with a glimpse of an invisible finish line, a peek ahead, so to speak. By doing this, they give the others a running chance at successfully reaching what lies ahead. The chosen ones are not in it for themselves and have incarnated here with the sole purpose to assist others. They are nobodies with nothing left to lose. For them, any fear of what lies beyond has been extinguished long ago. Once they realize it, they have no trouble humbly devoting their lives in honor of such a divine calling. I write these words for you in an honest attempt to open your mind and help you release any bondage this tainted reality has bestowed upon you. I cannot forcibly change anybody, as only you alone can ultimately choose which path you take. We are all given unique opportunities in our lives, those which serve us and those which serve others. The greatest opportunity we ever receive in life is the one which is most commonly overlooked, that being our open invitation to a relationship with Christ. It may even be the common expression, born again, that people use way too often and with lame attempt to describe, sometimes mock the relationship, which is causing many to turn a blind eye. Any ridicule or peer pressure a lukewarm believer encounters certainly don't help. Maybe it's all the associated mind-controlled thoughts which come pre-packaged with it. A conditioning ground deep into our minds in order to alter our perception of what the concept of being born again truly means. Myself, I prefer to use the term rebirth to describe the miracle which supplied me with everlasting faith. Whatever it is holding one back from reaching the glorious reward which lies ahead, at all costs they must find the way to overcome it. Enter the Christ. Personally, once I realized the complete makeup of the prison system and all 3 levels of its restraint, I quietly began to plan an escape. That plan turned out to be a grueling experience chock full of unexpected hazards, immense self-sacrifice, and continual suffering. First, there was me, who right from the get-go proved to be an exceedingly difficult level to surpass. Although, in a physical sense, I did eventually find a way. Second, there was myself, and transcending that level proved to be no problem whatsoever. Of course, once I figured out that you cannot put a price tag on your soul. Third, there was I, the final level of the prison I had to contend with, which I successfully escaped. Well, at least I made it to the wire, so to speak. Once there, I felt grateful for conquering that grueling quest. However, that feeling of pride quickly faded when I made the painful discovery of how lonely I truly was. Literally just a breath away from absolute freedom, and all I felt was this heavy guilt when looking back. It was then I realized that the war I had been fighting was more than just a personal battle, and escaping it alone would neither bring victory nor an end. Truth is, we all play a huge part in the battle, and it's all those personal struggles we overcome along the way which produce a valiant soldier. All that I went through had to be for something, I thought. Then it suddenly occurred to me that even just myself can make a huge difference here. So, I simply opened my eyes and came back. These words, writings, and weirdness are simply my story, compiled in this book, so I could share them with you. Sure, it feels satisfying to get this information out, and of course, there has been a huge relief in doing so. But there has also been a vast amount of pressure I have incurred while drafting it, not to mention all the spiritual attacks, which go way beyond belief. Regardless, it was something I had to get done. In the end, it was my recognition of self-sacrifice and a clearer understanding of how important this is, both for the greater good and for myself, which made my choice much easier. After all, it's the reason I came here in the first place. Not a single person deserves to be left in the dark. My top priority is to ensure no good soldier gets left behind. Trying my best, but God only knows if I will successfully complete the task. Coming here without any memory has made it an extremely challenging mission to undertake, and quite honestly, without Christ, I would have never stood a chance. May the Christ be with you. This is but a chapter from my book titled Awakened Son. If these words have intrigued you, and you would like to hear more, I ask that you please visit my website at geraldpstewart.com for information on how you can obtain a copy of your own. Thanks for tuning in. Please consider subscribing to the channel.